So Karlie and I have known each other for years now, and
Long time.
I said, "Oh, dang it, okay." Said it again. I don't know how we know each other. How did we know each other?
Dude, you hit me up on Instagram like
5
years ago. Yeah.
Or if I could go find that message, I should post. I'll post a message in here. Hopefully, I feel like I still have.
Oh yeah, you like randomly hit me up in the DMs like
Yeah,
5 years ago.
It was like, hey, I'm making our app used to be called Perfect for everyone watching. Now it's called WeStrive, and I was probably just like, hey, I'm making a website, whatever.
That's literally what you said. Do you want to? You asked if I wanted to like add a workout or something.
Yes.
You're like, hey, do you want to just like add to this? And I was like, whatever, sure.
Yeah, you did. You're one of our original OG trainers.
I'm the OG right now.
Exactly. So we're happy to have you on board. Happy to, once we add this next update, finally switch the rest of your 80 million clients over to WeStrive. And that's actually the focal point of the discussion, is how you get to so many online clients. So what we're going to do, start off, please introduce yourself. We'll talk about, your training background, what you do.
Always so bad at intros.
Whenever someone's like, what do you do for fun? I'm just like, first of all, like, what
work.
Do you I have an app, and then I go to the gym, pretty much. Yeah.
That's my life. I know, literally. So I'm going to try to make this concise and like flow normally, like a normal human being. So for those of you guys who don't know me, probably most of you guys are not going to know me. My name is Karlie Jennings. I'm originally from Chico, California. I currently live in San Diego, California. I grew up as an athlete my entire life. I played field hockey. That was like my life source. I ended up getting hurt in college. That's how I found training. And I've been in the gym business. I'm 25, so this is gonna be my sixth year 25? Going into training. Yeah. Okay. I got into entrepreneurship at 19. So I'm going into my 6th year as entrepreneur / trainer. I currently own a physical studio, which I'm sitting in right now, in Northern California. And then I also do remote online training full-time as well. And that's kind of my primary focus, is my online training. Can you give the world a tour of your gym really quick? Dude, yeah. This is our studio. We do high ticket, private, small group training. And that's also a similar model that I do online as well. So I do high ticket online personal training as well.
Okay, very cool. We will dive into all of that. So let's see. So you wanted to get into training because you were injured, and then like what were you kind of like?
I actually didn't even want to be a trainer. So training never even crossed my mind. I was actually going to go and get, so my degree is in exercise physiology, and then I have 3 minors, and I graduated 6 months early from college. So I graduated early, and I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Wait, you graduated early?
From university.
I got that, but based on, like, you got the 3 minors and the major, and you did it 6 months early over the 4 years, or like you did it early? I
graduated in 3.5 years.
With 3 minors, okay, very cool.
Yes.
Sorry.
So basically, all I did was schoolwork. But I didn't even want to be a trainer. And then, so my boyfriend Jeff reached out to me when we didn't know each other. We had a class together. We actually used to hate each other. Nice. We did not get along. And he actually ended up reaching out to me on Facebook and said, hey, I know that you like to work out. I know that I see you train at the Rec before, which is the gym at the college that I went to. He's like, I want you to come interview and be a female trainer for me. And I was like, no.
Is it at that gym right there?
Yeah, it's actually at this studio. And so I ended up actually giving in, and I was like, you know what, whatever. I'll go interview for this position. And I've been stuck with him for 4.5 years now.
Right, there we go. Wait, so you guys start dating right off the bat after getting there? Or what?
Oh yeah. Dipped the pen in the company ink a little bit. It worked out, so it's fine.
There we go. Very cool. Wait, so what is it like managing a gym in Northern California and owning it while you're living in Southern California?
It was a big transition for sure. Because, I mean, obviously when you're here in the day-to-day, it's a lot easier to kind of see the small things that need to be done. Obviously client happiness is a very big one. Just the whole functionality of the studio and trying to do that remotely and kind of living vicariously through my assistant and then my multiple trainers as well, and then our manager. So I'm basically fully reliant on them to give me feedback on kind of what's going on, how I can coordinate them, what adjustments need to be made in our marketing strategies, how our sales are going. So I basically like rely on them fully to give me all that information to kind of turn that around and then give them feedback on what needs to be adjusted. And it's kind of the day to day. It was a big transition.
Absolutely. No, I was going to say that. I feel like after a year or two, especially if you have a good manager, it's probably not that bad. But I mean, at first, like for me,
I was terrified.
Yeah, if I had to like give my app to someone for like a month, I would be like, hey, don't forget.
Don't mess this up.
Yeah, I'd be like, you need to email Josh too because he's going to freak out.
Yeah, it was like handing someone your child, basically, of like, don't drop this.
And you're doing that while managing your online training clients. Let's go to your So when did you get started online training? So give a quick summary for everyone before you answer. Karlie has about like 70-ish online clients. That's why I want to bring her on board. Well, not on board, but on this show. Just this show. I don't really. This feels stupid.
What are we doing?
You call it a show, and it's like low budget. I feel like it makes it look worse. But if I call it like
who cares? It's like this is like real life, so it kind of just feels more like off the cusp. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, exactly. And I feel like if Jimmy Kimmel and shit can be like doing this, we can do this. It's like
then we're chilling.
So basically you have about like 70 online clients, give or take whatever month it is. Even during COVID, you've had very few cancellations. So you're obviously doing.
I actually like doubled my business actually during COVID, which was crazy. So, I mean, just to clarify too, I think for some people, especially for other trainers, they have a kind of a hard understanding. Some people are like, oh, 70 is like not that much. So again, I do high ticket training. So I know. So most of my clients, whether it's in person.
No one's ever said that. What are you talking about?
Some people do. I don't know. I'm just like clarifying.
Talking about a ton. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
I know, it doesn't sound that much to me for some reason. I think for some people, so I got into online. I've always kind of done online. That's how you and I met. Was I was doing online and in-person training, but it never was something that was very serious up until a year ago. Yeah. I never really put that much attention into it until we moved to San Diego and I was able to kind of get out of the day-to-day of being here at the studio. So we're only here because we're hiring on another trainer. So we're here in Chico for the week, just before we go back to San Diego and we fly home. But for that, it never became really serious for me until a year ago. And when I kind of got out of the day-to-day of being in the studio, I was like, wow, I can actually kind of like start to build this secondary kind of stream of income, secondary business that I can actually kind of put more, I guess, mental bandwidth into it because I wasn't here in the day-to-day, kind of just sucked into the gym. Yeah. And that was when I kind of started building. So my company is called Badass Babes. That's what my online training platform is called. It's called Badass Babes. And that was really cool for me to kind of start to put some attention to something that I wanted to build that was mine and kind of make something that was my own, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I know it's really passionate for you. I mean, one of the updates we're planning on working on is, making WeStrive customizable to your business and all that. And I know, especially when you get to that point, it's like, it becomes, you get to a point where you're like, do I just keep using a platform like WeStrive or do I build my own app? And as you and I have
I don't want to do that.
As you guys discussed, it's very expensive to build your own app. So any trainer watching, whether you use
don't do it.
Yeah. Like, I'll try and go into a quick rant, but like, let's say it only costs 10 or 20K, which it doesn't. You have no idea what it's like to run an app. It is a nightmare. You're dealing with
beating your head against the wall.
You have to learn like just ridiculous things, ridiculous things. So I don't recommend it. So to meet you guys in the middle, especially meet Karlie in the middle, we're going to start adding more customizable stuff, like the ability to, add branding to your pages, add branding to your mobile app, your color schemes, all that kind of stuff. So then it'll feel more like yours. But anyways, so basically, so we'll go back a second. So when you do have that busyness of life, like you're in the gym, you got all these clients, you got like, your normal stuff that you do. What kind of a schedule, or how do you, like if you had 20 online clients at that point, like how do you maintain those clients? Like what are some like tips and tricks for that?
Yeah. So if you guys know me in person, I'm very anal retentive. I'm very OCD. I never used to be that way. I used to be in school. I was the biggest procrastinator. I would wait until the last minute to study for anything. And obviously, as you kind of get into entrepreneurship and you're no longer an employee, you're basically responsible for yourself. Like, if your business flops, it's no one else's fault but your own. It's literally only your fault. And so once I realized that, I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of personal growth that really needs to happen here. And I was really thankful to obviously have my boyfriend, Jeff, kind of on that journey, because he was kind of going through the same thing I did, where we had to take a moment and say, okay, cool, I have a lot of growing to do. Because he, obviously when you're running multiple businesses with your significant other, there's kind of that realm of balancing relationship as well as business. And it's obviously hard when one person is growing at this rate and I was kind of down here. And that was a big wake up call for me, where I was like, I need to grow, I need to get organized, I need to figure this out, because he is doing this and I'm kind of just chilling down here and this is not good for me. And journaling really helped me with that. Every single morning I wake up, I usually get up around like 5:30 in the morning. Coffee is my number one, obviously, priority. First thing in the morning is coffee. And then I'll sit down and do my daily journal. So I'll write down my 3 biggest goals, like long-term ones, like big ones, that are probably going to take me like a year or 2 to like accomplish. I'll write down my 3 biggest goals. I'll write down what I was uncomfortable with yesterday. I'll write down what I'm thankful for. I'll write down like a quote for the day. My top 3 priorities for the day that need to get done. Nothing else gets done. Top 3 things. That's all that matters, is those 3 things. Anything else, kind of a bonus. And then I'll kind of just jot down some notes of like some tiny additional things that if they get done, that's kind of just more of a bonus item. If they get done, awesome. It's just an extra thing for me to kind of like reward myself for, I guess. So I do that every single morning, and that kind of helps me, I guess, keep my brain flowing in one concise direction and not just being a total spaz trying to like get everything done during the day.
Yeah. No, I need to start doing that too. Like today, I've done a ton of stuff today in general, and I was sitting down a second, and I was like, what did I do today? But I
don't know.
Yeah, I've been on like 4 interviews and phone calls. I've done stuff all day today, but I'm like, I feel like I need to start writing down and doing a better job. So I've gotten a journal so many times, and then I just like don't. I'll put like one day, and I'm like,
remind me to mail you one. I'll mail you the one. So the one that I use, Jeff actually made. Like we had physical journals. Hold on, I'll show you.
No, Jeff.
We had physical journals, yes, and we had them actually made.
No joke. I have that journal. Jeff gave me.
You do? Did he really?
What I'm talking about. You were like, yeah, we make journals, and I was like, oh crap, Jeff gave me a journal. Yeah, so I have.
You're like, oh, I gotta find that.
Yeah, I'm like, trust me, I have that journal next to my bed, or I did for a while, and I wrote on it.
Totally didn't know he gave you one.
Yeah, no, I forgot he did too until you brought that up. But yeah, I need to. It's just like I know it's
every morning.
Yeah, so for everyone that does online training, you might feel stressed out when you get too many clients. 1, use WeStrive, obviously, but 2, get your journal out, write everything down. It's gonna make things a lot easier. So we'll go to the next thing. So how did you get to the point you're at 20, whatever, now you're at 70, whatever, like how did you scale your business initially?
So I think the biggest thing is don't get comfortable. That's probably the biggest thing that I really notice with a lot of trainers who feel kind of stuck and they're not really sure what direction they're supposed to go in, is because once you get a tiny bit of traction and people kind of start coming in and signing up, it's so easy to say, cool, I'm on a roll. I don't need to post 3 times today. I don't need to do these phone calls. I don't need to work my leads. I don't need to do this immediately. And you get kind of comfortable and you get kind of relaxed. Yeah. And then all of a sudden a month goes by and you're like, oh shit, I only signed up 1 client this month. And all of a sudden you kind of start to panic, and then you pick it back up again, and then you get comfortable again. And so for me, the biggest thing was maintaining that momentum of, you can't have this day off. You can't not work your leads. You can't not reach out to people and connect with people. You can't not do this. Like, you need to do it every single day to have that like continual momentum.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that applies to all avenues. I feel like there's sometimes with me, I take a step back and I'm like, oh, cool, we got a lot done today, and I need to actually.
We're chilling.
I need to be like, we need to keep doing stuff. So I totally agree with that. And I think that ties back into entrepreneurship as well. I feel like just keeping yourself accountable and not letting the Jeffs of the world pass you up, So,
yes.
If you will.
Yes.
So, I mean, so now that you're at where you're at, like, what are some things that, besides like journaling, that kind of stuff, like, okay, so you have 70 clients, obviously you use a platform like a WeStrive to organize your business. So
Mm-hmm.
what, like on a daily basis, like I know you do auto scheduling and all that kind of stuff. So like what kinds of things are you doing to like make that not insane? Because that is a lot of clients.
Yes. So I mean, auto scheduling for me is very important because that takes a lot of free time out of, like, I guess it clears up a lot of free time in my day where I'm not just sitting there sending out the same messages over and over and over again. So if I can auto schedule things to be sent out to clients or to schedule certain phone calls, that's really important to me because I can kind of it just shows up on my calendar automatically, and my phone will alert me. So I'm basically attached to my phone pretty much 24/7. I know you know that I'm like that to respond usually to you. So I'm pretty much attached 24/7. And for me, again, the journaling thing, I do it every single day. It's every morning, like clockwork. I get that done and I kind of get my brain cleared out for the day so I know what my priorities are for that day. And then I also do a weekly recap as well. So not only do I recap how the week went, or if I feel like I had a really bad week, I need to pinpoint what went wrong. Was I just not organized? Was I not disciplined? Was I kind of just really stressed out? Did something hit the fan? I just was having a meltdown over this one bad thing that happened. And then kind of obviously attaching an action to that as well. Where if I felt like I did not have a good week, what went wrong? How can I alleviate that moving forward so I don't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result? Yeah. And then obviously kind of game planning my social media strategy for the week. What sales calls do I have? Who am I reaching out to? What is kind of my topic of the week for social media that I want to hit? And just making sure, again, that organization is there. Because if I'm not organized, I feel like I'm just like a squirrel trying to run through the week and I'm not getting anything productive done. Yeah. Because I'm just bouncing from one thing to another with no real destination in sight.
I actually like that too. And I'm like 99 million% positive I have some sort of ADHD. And so
I think most entrepreneurs do.
Yeah.
Because we get really like
yeah. Well, to your point, I mean, like for example, today we were working on our retention campaigns and we had that call with the Lose It app that we might partner up with. And then I was also working on like our onboarding strategy and outbound emails, and I have all the tabs open. I'm just going, it's like I'm not doing, because it's hard for me to do 30 minutes of one thing. And then like I have to just have like kind of these thoughts popping around. So I think I personally could even do a better job of, getting that weekly task done, figuring out where I lost time at and kind of going.
Totally.
And so let's pick an individual client for obviously not saying anything, but like,
yes.
HIPAA, however that works.
Yes. Don't send HIPAA after me.
So at 70 clients, so let's pick a client. And what is like a week look like for them? Like, what are you doing as their online trainer for that week? Like, exactly what are you doing?
So I'll give you, obviously my training is a little bit different, I think, than most trainers. So I kind of obviously want to keep that as my own. But a base overview essentially is every Sunday we do a check-in. Yep. It's usually an auto message that goes out again to them of like, hey, how'd the week go? Let's recap, upload photos. We're checking in. How are things going? Yeah. Depending on what day they started, usually every Monday or Tuesday, I send out a weekly module, a learning module. So most of my learning modules that get sent out to them are mindset based. Self-care, de-stressing, things along those lines, and they're PDFs for them to keep, where we're covering a certain topic every single week. It's a new learning individual for them. Wednesday is another check-in day where they can auto book a check-in call with me during the week. It's 10-15 minutes for us to have a verbal conversation, because obviously it's very easy to ignore a text message from me to say, hey, how's it going? I'll respond to her later. And then 2 weeks goes by and I haven't heard from them. So we book a call every single week to obviously kind of just verbally touch base. People are more honest, I think, directly on the phone.
So you have 70 calls every Wednesday, or it's like a hit or miss?
I space them out. So I'll usually have like 35 a week.
Okay.
It's a lot of calls. Yes.
Very cool.
So I kind of space them out a little bit. And then I program, obviously, on their calendar what days they're working out, what days they're doing rest days. They're obviously all their nutrition, all those things along those lines. So their weeks get, again, I'm just creating routines for them. Because for most people, they really struggle with the routine and knowing what to do and when to do it. And so I basically just control their entire life. That's kind of the joke I make to them, was they're kind of like my puppets. So I always kind of make that joke to all my clients of like, you can't escape me. You're a puppet now. And I just kind of organize everything in your life.
Nice. Wait, what's your favorite thing about online training?
Honestly, it's the results. So one of my online clients, she actually lives in a town over from Chico, and I invited her to come, and I was like, dude, come meet me in person, because she's never met me. We've only had a virtual relationship. And I was like, hey, I'm dusting it off. I'm going to do some in-person training today. I'm in town. Come and do a workout. And she's lost 20 pounds in a month. She doesn't do any fat burners, no shakes, no nothing. It's literally just her routine. And that's it. It's crazy. And so it's cool to see that in person too. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, honestly, I'm not a trainer myself, but it's cool to see. I feel like I get to see it through all of our trainers. All of our trainers get to post these incredible transformations, and as we grow, I just had a really good idea. As we grow,
light bulb.
You write this down. As we grow, I would love to have I want to have a testimonials page for WeStrive.
Like a spotlight kind of a thing?
Well, not only that, but I've always wanted to, and we're already working on this, but I want to have a testimonials for WeStriveApp.com and have all of our trainer testimonials, which we already kind of have. But I think it'd be cool to have a client's testimonials where just have thousands of them where it's client.
Yes.
I think
that would be so awesome. I would love that. Cool. And I think the clients would love that too, because they kind of get a shout out. It's that confirmation bias. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that.
Okay, cool. I might do that. Write that down. So if I'm a trainer starting off and I just start online training, what would you do? If you had to if all of your clients, pick a really positive scenario, they all transformed, they didn't need you anymore. Maybe that's not a good scenario, but anyways,
we go from 70 to 0 real quick.
Clients are just gone. What are you doing day one to start your online training business?
So I think for most trainers, when they are starting, I'm trying to think of how I want to explain. I don't want to sound like a dick, obviously. I think when most trainers, I think a lot of trainers make this mistake, is they think people want to see home workouts. They want to have these scientific discussions. They want to have nutrition talks, things along those lines that, me and another trainer who have that background, I will totally know what you're talking about when you're talking about metabolism rate of certain foods and why you're doing a concentric motion versus this, blah, blah, blah. Me and another trainer, we're on that all day. Let's have a full discussion about it. But when you're talking to someone who is just getting started and, they're already frustrated, they're hurting emotionally, they're upset with themselves, they kind of gotten to this point with their lives and they're like, I need to lose all this weight. When you're having that more scientific discussion with them, they're just going to smile and nod. They're kind of just yeah, I totally get why chicken metabolizes faster than beef.
Yeah.
Totally. And I'm not saying don't have those conversations with people, especially on social media when you're trying to attract clients in. People don't care about that. Humans have the attention spans of goldfish. You need to get their attention like that. Speak to their pain. Talk to them about why they are where they are. Why are you here? What do you need to do emotionally, physically, mentally to get you out of this funk that you're in, out of this bad routine and rhythm that you're in? You need to correct those mistakes first before you can have a discussion with them of these muscle groups and this metabolism rate and, these foods metabolize better than this. And I think that's the best advice I can give someone is don't worry about the more scientific side of working out. And if that's kind of your niche, that's fine. And if you want to speak to people that way, that's fine. But for the more generic trainer where you're just trying to reach a wider audience and just attract people in, figure out who you're speaking to. A majority of my clients are women between 25 and 35 who need to lose about 30 pounds more. Or whatever their number is. And that is who I need to speak to. And so when you're making those posts on social media and you're doing calls to action and getting people trying to come reach out to you and do that, speak to that person, meet them where they're at. I don't give a shit about your home workouts. Am I allowed to curse on here? Is that allowed?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Okay, just bleep me. I'm sorry.
Don't use that. That's okay. Yeah.
Bleep me out. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Meet them where they're at though. Speak to them from their pain point and what they are specific, what that person that you want to work with is struggling with. And that is going to reach them so much faster than you telling them how to drink a protein shake. Does that make sense? Was that a concise thought?
No, I think it makes sense. Yeah. No, I agree. I think You know, I mean, you're at the end of the day, you have to be a marketer, at least in some sense. And so you have to, like, if you're trying to get clients, you have to, like, at least do a little bit of marketing. You have to be like, hey.
Yeah. And all mine's organic. I don't run, everyone's like, oh, you have to run ads. Like, how you have so many clients? I'm like, nope. I have not run a single ad for anything on my Badass Babes program yet. Yeah. I'm getting to that soon, but I haven't done any marketing for it. It's all strictly organic.
Well, and I think, I mean, this is like our 4th episode we've recorded, and I think across the board, with at least the last 2 trainers that we had on here, where it was just do a good job, you know?
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, straight up, you know? Like,
yes. Just be a good person, be a good trainer.
Because people talk to people, like that's another, like, people that don't understand marketing as a trainer, it's like, you could, like, similar to Karlie, like, you don't have to put money into ads if you're doing a good job as a trainer. And that's, you know, respect your clients, put the work in, you know, I mean, just appreciate them, and yeah, you're going to get referrals. So
exactly.
That's a dumb question. Anyways. Well, cool. Karlie,
what was I don't know what the question is now. What was the question?
There's like, how many referrals do you get? It was like some stupid, it was like, who cares? Like, whatever. Like, and I'm sure you'd be like, let's get vision. So, Karlie, this is awesome. Do you have anything you want to leave people with? You have like a cool quote? You have any links you want to plug? You have a new TV show coming out?
Dude, I wish. I would love that. Oh my God. We'll talk about that. we'll do like a YouTube TV or a Snapchat TV or something. I mean, honestly, I think if I want to leave someone with anything, it's figure out what sets you apart. I mean, everyone and their mom right now is a trainer, and you need to figure out what separates you from the masses and how you can connect with your clients on a more personal level. And that is what people love, is they just want to have that connection with you. You know, you don't need to be some hardcore salesperson and be like 100% closing rate to do a good job. You just need to have that sincere connection with people and actually genuinely care about each and every person that you work with and be able to have that individual experience. And that's what's going to set you apart, not how good of a salesperson you are. I mean, that obviously that helps a ton if you have a lot of good sales practice, but just be genuine, just be real with your clients.
Absolutely. And I want to clarify, neither my mom nor I are trainers. So I'm something that out there. But
you're one of the few then.
Just one of the only 2. A whole lot of mom-son couples out there, trainers out there. So hopefully
I think you missed my expression, Corey.
Yeah, I totally over my head. I don't even get it. Karlie, thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to call it a show.
We'll call it a show for now. We'll change it later if we need to.
Yeah, you are at Get Fit with Karlie on Instagram.
No, it's Karlie Badass Babes now. I gotta rep my brand now.
Stop changing it.
I've changed it like 6 times. It's Karlie Badass Babes if you need me.
Change it like this morning or like?
No, it's been like that for like, I think you're just used to my Give It with Karlie Gmail that you always email me at. That's probably where you're getting that. I haven't been Give It with Karlie for like a year and a half.
Okay, so
keep up with me, Corey.
Follow her at whatever she currently is. Right. So
just search for Badass Babes and something will pop up.
That's what I do now. Is I go, okay, I don't even know what it is anymore. I just type in Badass Babes and you pop up.
Who are you?
Well, cool. Karlie, thank you so much. Keep killing it.
Dude, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, there we go. All right, have an awesome week. Boom. And stop.
Done. It's still recording.
We're not ending.